to another video. In today's video, I'll be taking you along with me as I visit lots of different bookshops in Richmond for the London Bookshop Crawl event. If you don't know already, a bookshop crawl is basically the same premise as a pub crawl, but instead of visiting different pubs, you visit as many bookshops as you'd like. During the event, some participating bookshops offer discounts and freebies, and it's really just a lovely way to spend the weekend. I first came across the event last year, but I wasn't able to join because I was super busy that year. So this year I made sure to take the Friday off so that I could spend the whole day visiting different bookshops. Friday was such a lovely day, and it really felt like a hint of spring. The cherry blossom trees were all blossoming, and the sun was shining too, and the air still held that fresh crispness of winter. The first place that I visited was the Alligator's Mouth Bookshop, which is an independent bookshop that specialises in children's books, but it also features some YA titles too. I absolutely love this bookshop, and I think I spent about an hour browsing everything from their picture books to the middle grade and YA novels that they held in stock as well. The two booksellers that I met were so wonderful, and they recommended me some amazing graphic novels because I was especially interested in their incredible selection of graphic novels. I didn't end up buying Expedition Backyard, and I'm so gutted. I've been eyeing it for some time now, so I really should have bought it, but I did leave with two other graphic novels that I'll talk about at the end of the video. I then walked a couple of minutes before reaching Raygun, which is a comic and graphic novel shop. Raygun wasn't one of the registered bookshops for the crawl, but when I came across it as I was researching which bookshops to visit, I knew that I wanted to stop by anyways because I love finding new graphic novels. After leaving Raygun, I walked a little further down this beautiful alleyway that made me feel like I was in a children's book of my own before arriving at Books on the Rise. At this point, the sun was really shining and all the spring flowers were peeping out, and it made me so happy. Books on the Rise is another indie bookshop, and they had a little bit of everything, so I enjoyed taking my time combing through every section. But of course, I ended up focusing mostly on their sweet selection of middle grade novels. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a children's book illustrator, but I always end up gravitating towards the kids lit area. After I left Books on the Rise, I took a really lovely walk down to the more central area of Richmond, where I passed by a Waterstones which I visited later, but the next indie bookshop that I visited is called the Open Book. I actually didn't look up any pictures of the bookshop inside, and so was honestly quite shocked to see just how many books they had in stock. Every wall was covered from top to bottom with books stacked upon books, and they had a huge collection of classics. And the final bookshop that I visited before calling it a day was of course the gorgeous Waterstone shop that I passed by earlier. I've been inside this branch once before and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to visit it this second time too, and I enjoyed it just as much. On this particular day I was on the hunt specifically for a book called Welcome to the London Bookshop by Hwang Bodum, and I was so excited when I saw it in the new hardback section of Waterstones because I almost didn't see it at first. Being British Korean, it makes me so happy to be able to see more translated fiction, specifically South Korean novels, being translated into English, and seeing them on the shelves of bookshops just makes me so excited. I think it was almost 1 o'clock at this point, and because I usually skip breakfast, I was really hungry. I walked a little bit further before coming across an all-in-steam bakery/cafe. I ended up grabbing their vegan lemon and passion fruit festival bun with some green tea, and I sat by one of their huge window seats as the sun was streaming in whilst flicking through some of the books that I bought earlier in the day. Hey friends, I'm back from my day out for the London Bookshop Crawl event. Today is Friday and the event's actually lasting until Sunday, and I'm supposed to go out to London tomorrow with a friend of mine, and we're hoping to visit some participating bookshops again. But today I visited, how many did I visit? 1, 2, 3. I think I visited like 5 bookshops maybe in Richmond. And the reason why I chose Richmond was because there's this children's bookshop that I visited once before, maybe twice before, but I never got to explore it properly, like as much as I wanted to, and it's called the Alligator's Bookshop, I believe. The Alligator's Mouth Children's Bookshop, and they even gave me little bookmarks with their order. It's so cute. But yes, they specialise in children's books, and I had the best time going about. They had some lovely booksellers working there, and I ended up picking 2 graphic novels there. The first one was Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson, and I've seen this graphic novel for quite some time now, but I just never got my hands on it. And I believe this follows a sweet little Garlic who is very timid and anxious and has a lot of worries, and I think Garlic just wants to be able to tend to her own garden where it's nice and comfortable and cozy. But when a mysterious vampire arrives in her village, the other vegetable people think that it's just a no-brainer that Garlic should be the one to confront this vampire. And so she has to step outside her comfort zone to be able to help the villagers out. And the bookseller has told me that this was super cozy, and I mean the illustration, I had a quick peek at the bookshop and I just fell in love with the art style. The colour palette is gorgeous, it looks like it's perfect for autumn. And I also read a little bit of it at the bookshop and I fell in love with the dialogue between Garlic and her friend Carrot. It was just so cute. So I'm super excited that I found this one there. That's the first one. The Alligator's Mouth Children's Bookshop were doing a 10% discount for the London Bookshop Crawl, as well as free bookmarks. And this is the little ID card that I printed out earlier yesterday, and I just went around showing this to the booksellers, and they all the ones that I went to were registered under the Bookshop Crawl event, and so they just knew. I popped in and I said I'm here for the Bookshop Crawl event, and they knew exactly what I was saying. The next book that I picked up from the bookshop was Rose Wolves by Natalie Warner. And as opposed to Garlic and the Vampire, I had never come across Rose Wolves. I've never seen it before, and I haven't heard anyone on BookTube talk about it either. So when I first saw this cover, I fell in love with it, and I picked this one up and then put it down and picked it up and put it down so many times. And I was just about to leave the bookshop with Garlic and the Vampire, but I was like, I'm gonna regret it if I don't buy this book. So I went back and I picked it up, and I'm so glad I did. Rose Wolves is a graphic novel with no writing, no text in it at all. It's just pictures, and it's very simple, but I think it's just the storytelling in and of itself through the pictures is so weighty, and I loved the concept of it too. In this story, we follow this girl, and she doesn't have a name, but she goes for a walk in the forest and picks up an unusual flower, and she takes it back home with her. And this flower overnight, I think, yes, the flower blooms and turns and transforms into this magical creature, and it's a rose wolf. And the rose wolf is missing a leg, just like the little girl is missing an arm. And so this book is a fable about disability, companionship and transformation, and I think it's a very quiet, very rich, very moving story. And when I saw this cover, it was displayed like this, I just knew that I had to pick it up. So I'm very excited to read and ponder. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? So yes, this is Rose Wolves, and I'm very excited about it. Next up, we have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, and I already own a copy of this book, but I wanted this edition. I wanted this new cover that is gracing the shelves in the UK, and I'm so glad I found this. The bookshop I visited after the Alligator's Mouth was called Books on the Rise, and that was such a delightful bookshop as well. They had a very small middle grade section, but I'm so glad I found this copy. This was the last one left, I think. Yes, I think this was the only one they had in stock, and because it's the cover has just a little bit of damage to it, and some of the pages were creased as well. The bookseller was so lovely to give me a 20% discount, so kind of them, and so I was just It was just amazing to find this particular copy at such a wonderful bookshop. I started listening to the audiobook version of House Moving Castle on Libby, but then my library hold on it expired, and so I have to now wait like 20 weeks or something to be able to listen to it again. So I decided I'll just finish it using a physical copy. And last but not least, we have Welcome to the London Bookshop by Hwang Borim, and oh, I'm so happy I managed to get this. I got this from the Waterstones in Richmond, which is a beautiful Waterstone shop. I really love that one. But this particular book I read first via Libby again, but as an ebook. And as soon as I finished reading it, I knew I wanted a physical copy. And Welcome to the London Bookshop will have 2 different covers. So this is the hardcover version, but I also love the paperback version, which is like the day cover of this same bookshop. And that one is gorgeous too, so I'll definitely be buying that copy as well when it comes out. But I'm so glad that Waterstones had a copy of this in stock. It's even got like really adorable cute illustrations throughout it. So there's like a little lady walking the dog in the corner, and every chapter starts with, what do you call them? I can't remember, like not an easel, like the signboard thing. I'm blanking on its name. Anyways, Welcome to the London Bookshop follows a lady called Youngju who is really tired. She's burnt out from life and ends up deciding that she has to run a bookshop. And so she sort of starts life afresh, and it just is a very quiet tale following the impact that this bookshop has on the local community in Yunnan-dong. This book features Youngju and her coffee barista, and an author, and several other wonderfully quirky characters who just want to understand life, and they're just figuring things out, and the bookshop becomes a lovely communal place for them all to share thoughts, share ideas, run book clubs together. So yes, this is the Yunnan-dong. Welcome to the Yunnan-dong Bookshop. So yes, those were the 4 books that I bought from the Bookshop Crawl event today. But I am so chuffed with these 4 books. They're so beautiful as well. This was my first ever London Bookshop Crawl event, and I had so much fun exploring Richmond. I think it was really good that I just focused on one specific bookshops in a specific area so that it wasn't too overwhelming. I didn't have to walk too much. All the bookshops were super close, within a walking distance from each other, and then I spent some time in a lovely cafe too, so it was a wonderful way to spend the day. And I'm gonna try not to buy any books tomorrow as well when I go out with my friends, since I already have 4. But I do hope you enjoyed this cozy video. I'm so glad and grateful for all the booksellers that I got to meet and the new bookshops that I visited. If you have any questions about the Bookshop Crawl event, they have an actual Instagram account with more information, so I'll make sure to link them down below in the description box. But yes, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye!